6 years ago, I ran in a race that utterly changed my life. And I know that sounds like a bold statement, but I truly believe it did. And next month, Mary is running in that same race. Mary, what are you running next month?
London Marathon.
And would it be fair to say that you are excited?
Yes.
And would you believe me if I told you right now that it is the best marathon you could possibly run, considering all of the other marathons you've run?
I'm going to have to wait and find out for myself.
I feel some doubts there. I'm going to convince you, and I'm going to convince you, my opinion obviously, that this is the best marathon on earth. Okay, what makes a marathon great? Well, I think we can probably distill it into 4 things. There's a ton of stuff, obviously, but I'm going to put it into sections. The organisation, as in the way that the race organises it in the lead up and on the day. The experience, your general vibe and experience of being in the city and of the race. The course, as in the race. How friendly is it? How kind is it? How much fun is it? All of that stuff. And the 4th bit, the magic. And I'm going to tackle the first 3 bits first, but I'm going to make my argument really for London. It's around the magic, but it doesn't mean it falls short in the other 3 bits. So let's start. Organisation wise, would it surprise you to know that for this year's race, there was a record number of applications? 1,133,813 people applied to be in a race of about 60,000 runners. So your odds of getting in were very small, let's just say that. And that in itself is crazy. So it is a very sought after race. There's probably going to be in the region of 60,000 runners this year. So it was 56,000 last year. New York, 59,000 in the New York just gone. And London is aiming to possibly top that with 60,000 this year. So it is probably one of the, if not the most attended marathons in the world or ever. But people don't care about that, right? Not everybody cares about how many runners. In fact, people actively don't like that many runners. The other thing I'd say going in London's favour is that it is not difficult to get to the start line. There are tube, underground, overground trains, taxis, Ubers, buses, walking. So if you compare that to, for example, New York and Boston, which are, I would say, logistically more difficult to get to because you have to go to a place, get buses, they're about an hour, get to a start village. And then you compare that also to the other side, Berlin, we walked to. Tokyo, we could walk to, very good experience. Say London is somewhere in the middle of those experiences. Chicago was great as well. So it's not logistically like it's the easiest, but it's certainly not the worst. And then the start point, I'd say standing in corrals, probably on the longer end of how much time I've stood in a corral for a race, around an hour, I believe, for London. But again, this is not the point. These are all, I guess, part and parcel of running a marathon that has 60,000 odd runners. That bit, it is what it is. And yes, it might put some people off, but stay with me. What about the experience? Well, let's just start with London itself as a city. It's 2,000 years old, and if you compare that to the next oldest, Tokyo, they, as a fishing village, may have started in around 1100, so it's already 1100 years older than Tokyo, and then Berlin is about 800. I'm going to be honest, there's probably toilets in London that are older than the whole of America. So, you know, you have the difference in history. Not that I'm saying America's not amazing, because we love New York, we loved going to Boston, but it's a different kind of history. So the lead up obviously is exciting. The expo's not particularly easy to get to, but which ones are? I've not really been to an easy expo so far. And maybe the downside of London is, would you get to London perhaps on the marathon weekend and know in your heart that there is a marathon happening? You might do, but if you're in a different part of London, you might not. Whereas if you're in Boston, the entire city knows. Everything is built around this marathon. Everyone knows, everyone's interested. So you have that, but it's a big city vibe. I would imagine the same for Berlin, for New York and Tokyo. You could definitely be areas of the city and have no idea that a marathon is happening. So I'm not going to knock points off for that. And finally, the course. The London course is pretty flat. It's not hilly. It's pretty fast. It's not the fastest. I would give that to maybe Chicago or Berlin. It is scenic. You do get to run over Tower Bridge, you do get to run past Cutty Sark, you do get to run in the Isle of Dogs, you get to run down the Mall, you get to see Big Ben. You know, there's a lot that you can see on the course that I think gives it a little certain charm. New York, you run through the 5 boroughs, that's awesome in itself. But what I do love about running through London is you're almost running through lots of different areas of the world. There's parts where you feel like you could be running through Jamaica or the Caribbean. There's parts when you feel like you could be running through Africa. There's parts where you could be running through the Middle East. And that is, in my opinion, quite special. You know, London is a melting pot and it's kind of a microcosm of the world. And if you don't like that kind of thing, then this channel is probably not for you anyway. So are there better courses for speed? Probably. Are there better courses for scenery? There might be. Are there better courses for the crowd? No, not in my opinion, although New York is close. And we're going to get to the magic and why I believe London is hands down the best marathon, but also I'm going to share with you how we're training towards it, because I think that's important. Here we are back at the track for another thrilling instalment of Ben and Mary hurt themselves in a sauna for lols. So we got 800 repeats today. We did, what did we do last week? Kilometre repeats, but we're only doing it at tempo. That's the point, is we're not at threshold now. We need some recovery time, we need some rest in between Tokyo Marathon and what's to come. So as an example, today is 10 kilometers total. That's not much. We're gonna do maybe 8, 9 or 10 800 meter reps, a good warm up, good cool down, call it a day. Here's the thing, we feel really tired after Tokyo, and so we're just acknowledging, I think, Mary was pretty much foot on the gas for 8 months, right? You were Berlin into Shanghai into Tokyo, all PBs.
Yeah.
So it's about time to let the foot off the gas in a calculated way, because, you know, we have still got London. We do need to still get to the end of a marathon.
Yeah, I have felt broken since Tokyo, so I'm just really being kind to myself and easing back in. Yeah,
so we have a plan. We have a plan. So listen, we're being realistic about London. It's not our priority in terms of pace. We want to hit that hard in Chicago at the end of the year. Mary wants to aim for that sub 3. I want to aim for that sub 240. So for London, really, it's just about getting our legs in a place where we can run London without overreaching, because I have Manchester Marathon the week before that. And then after, we'll take a little bit of downtime before we start going for Chicago. Yeah, so we're both of the opinion that around about 40 miles, 65 kilometers a week for the next 3 weeks, that'll do us nicely. It'll get us into shape where we'll be able to comfortably run London, but we're not going to overreach. So 10 kilometers here on the track each Tuesday, and it's going to be like a tempo session, not a threshold session. And then 10 Wednesday, 10 Thursday, 10 Saturday, and 25 at the weekend. We're just going to, it's rinse and repeat. All 3 weeks we're going to be doing that. And I think that will, and obviously we're doing some stuff on top of it, like getting to the gym, swimming, bit of cycling. Look at me, you don't swim or cycle.
No.
You do gym. Do the gym sign again. Hey. Okay, 800 repeat 1 at tempo, not threshold. This is a reminder to myself and Mary. Okay, are we ready, guys? All right, let's do it. 304 rep 1. So you might be wondering, how did we get into London? Because I can already hear those questions with that 1% chance. It's tough. Well, it is and it isn't, because you might see Lord's Taverner's vest. This is actually the vest I ran London in 2019, but we're very, very fortunate to have been given 2 charity places to run London this year with Lord's Tavs. So we're back basically. All right, 3, 2, 1, rep 2. Let's go. So Team Tavs are a really special charity to me. Not only because they gave me this place in 2019, but also because my friend Lou and her dad Freddie were a big part of Team Tavs back in 2019, and sadly Freddie passed away last year
And I feel like I'm doing this for him as well. Mary and I have to raise £6,000 for the charity, but we've set an ambitious target of 10,000. End of rep 2. Here we go. 2:59. I'll be happy if we can keep it there. So Team Tabs, amazing charity, by the way, really aligned with what we do. They are a charity that provide sporting opportunity to underprivileged and disabled young people. Cricket in particular, which if you don't know what that is, because you live in North America, it's just a better version of baseball. Did I get anyone hooked in? But it's essentially providing sport to children that would not necessarily have access to it, and that's why we love it. Mary's just finished her rep. There she is. Rep 3, 3:01. Just got to hold it there, basically. Which, when you think, when I'm doing my threshold sessions, I'm probably at 240, 238 a rep. So I'm way off, but it's feeling every bit as hard, which just goes to show the ebbs and flows of marathon training. Rep 4, 3 minutes. Bang on.
So we want you to help us. All donations go straight to Team Tabs and those in need of a sporting opportunity. But to make it a bit more fun, we've turned it into a raffle as well. So for every £5 anyone donates, that's one entry into our giveaway. So you could win something and feel amazing that you donated to a fantastic charity. We've got a luggage collection from Trip Luggage. We've got boxes of Bix gels. We've got a £200 voucher from the awesome Runderwear, who are going to be our main sponsor for the London Marathon, and even our own merch in the form of a vest or t-shirt, and more to come. All you got to do is pause the video now and scan this QR code or screenshot it, and it's going to take you straight to the donation page. We rarely ever ask for anything, so please help us get to this £10,000 total. It could change so many lives.
Rep 5, 3:02. Rep 6, 3:02 again. So rep 7, 3:03. Rep 8, 3:03. That's too hard to do after each one. Oh, I couldn't even talk those last ones. It wasn't even a threshold session, but yeah, I think I did 3:05, 2:58 is what I finished on. We're just cooling down now. So it wasn't a bad session in the end.
So what I would say is, please consider donating. It is an ambitious target. We don't ask for much, and we've tried to do this the right way to get into London and raise money for a really worthy cause. So, you know, as I say, it's not often that we will ask for anything, but if you could consider even just giving a few quid, that would make all the difference.
Yeah, and it will do amazing things.
Yeah, but now I'm going to present to you my argument as to why I think, I almost feel like I know, but I'm not going to say that. I think, opinion, London is the best marathon in the world, and it's because of
The magic of London. And I'm going to give you 4 reasons why I believe that London, in my heart, is the best marathon that you could possibly run in your lifetime. Now, one of them, you're going to disagree with me potentially if you're not from the UK anyway, and that is because I'm biased, but for me it's my home race. It makes me, there are a lot of things that make me not proud to be British, but there are a lot of things that make me proud to be British, and the London Marathon is absolutely one of those. It feels like a home race, like I would imagine Americans might feel in New York or Chicago or Boston. But these are the keys, these 3. It is believed that around 75% of runners at the London Marathon are charity affiliated. They are raising funds for some charity. And when you think about that in the context of 60,000 runners, you've probably got then 45,000 runners at the very least that are doing this race for reasons beyond themselves, for something bigger than themselves. And you can feel that when you're out there. I can tell you that right now. The spirit is much more about the greater good and the whole, and shining a spotlight on great charities and great causes, and you feel it in your bones. And also, it's a national identity, since as far as I can remember, the London Marathon has been televised on national television for free for the entire race of the pros, and then it stays on for hours featuring all of the celebrities and the charity runners and the people doing it for certain causes. It is a program that is maybe 5 or 6 hours long. It has the music is I can't play it, I'll probably get a copyright strike, but honestly, if you heard the music, you would immediately know what it's about, and it would immediately take you to watching the London Marathon. And I watched it every year as a child growing up. It's part of who I am. It's part of our national identity. I don't think the American races necessarily are televised nationally and free in the US. Not sure about Berlin. I think Tokyo might be. But for as long as I can remember, it's part of our national identity. The London Marathon morning is on TVs in so many households across the UK. And finally, the crowds, I would argue, better than any crowd that you will ever experience. Sure, there are pockets of amazing crowds. Boston, you've got the Screen Tunnel. You've got New York, there's areas of New York that are absolutely insane. But across the majority of the course, London is just, it's the very best of humanity coming out to support you. I really feel like that. It's like, if you wear your name on your bib, you will have people shouting your name as if you are their closest family member, as if they love you.
There he is, he's on the other side.
And you feel that love and you feel that support all of the way around the course. I must admit, I probably was nearly crying the entire race all the way round. That's not for everyone. It might be overwhelming, but for me, it just really restored my faith in humanity, that people that don't know me, that are strangers, would come out and support me as if I was a brother. And that just meant the whole world to me, and I've never experienced that in any other marathon for that amount of the marathon. It really is something quite special the whole day. Doesn't matter if it's raining, doesn't matter if it's sunny, there will be crowds there will be a lot of people supporting you. And it probably comes back to the bigger than yourself reasons, for lots of charities are being supported. So in 1 month, we will be running London Marathon. We will both be making a video, and I will be trying to capture the pure joy, the pure vibes of the occasion in the ways that some of my friends on YouTube have done previously and that I've been inspired by. I hope you stick around on the channel. We've got lots of races coming up before then. And if you disagree with me, then feel free to put it in the comments. But remember, play nice. This is an opinion and I'm open to discussion, but this is my opinion. And if you want to watch my first ever London Marathon, that's here. And if you want to watch Mary's last marathon that she just ran, that was in Tokyo, that's just here. She's going to get her 6th star in London. Super exciting. Subscribe to follow the journey, and I'll see you on Sunday.